Kaio, what? Hey guys, Masako X here, and yeah, Kaioken, one of Dragon Ball Z's most iconic techniques. Not to mention, it's got a really cool name. Kaioken isn't just a bunch of gibberish moonspeak words. It actually translates to the fist of the king of the world, or the World King Fist. It prepared us for what DBZ would eventually become. Screaming a lot and powering up. I mean, galactic exploration and titanic battles! Oh, who am I kidding? Picture this. You're a little kid watching Dragon Ball Z, and you are watching the Saiyan arc and Goku and Vegeta's epic battle. Goku's on the ropes, he's half as strong as Vegeta, and you're just thinking, man, what is Goku gonna do? How is he gonna beat the Prince of all Saiyans? Then you remember, of course, the Kaioken technique! It takes all his energy and all his strength. He is covered in a red aura, red with rage, red with power. His veins are popping out of his muscles and his eyes are probably gonna pop out if they had veins that you could see. I know my biology. He's struggling to remain in control. Power incarnate. Man, that's so cool! However, it has just one teensy tiny, really minuscule drawback. It could kill you. It can kill you if you use the Kaioken for too long, or if you extend its power too far. It's that caveat that probably makes the Kaioken very alluring to me. It's the fact that you have to use it sparingly. You have to use it with strategy and skill. You can't push yourself too far. You're thinking, okay, am I going to use a certain multiplier for a certain amount of time? Am I going to survive this? It's not a subtle technique, that's for sure. Super Saiyans are all well and good, and they look awesome, and they fight really well, but they become really blasé now. Everyone and their mother could go Super Saiyans, and even their mothers' mothers could do it. Kaioken, though, still remains a dangerous technique, even to this day. It can still kill. It's so dangerous that it's really not a surprise that no one other than Goku has learnt the technique in the actual canon series. Even though King Kai hung out with Piccolo, Chaozu, Tien, and Yamcha for a sizable amount of time, probably just as long as Goku did with King Kai, where he learnt the Kaioken, where the name comes from. Was it down to human anatomy not being sufficient to Saiyan anatomy? Was it just down to King Kai not thinking about it at the time because they weren't really factoring in the fight at all? Or was it because Toriyama forgot? It has happened before, to be fair. So technically, the only two people that know the Kaioken in the TV series are Goku and King Kai, the guy who invented it. Krillin and Yamcha can learn the Kaioken in the games, and in the Xenoverse series of games, you can equip your custom character with Kaioken. Really, that's just the games. It's not canon. It's just Goku, really, that's heralding the Kaioken flag. And he's the only one that's really adopted Kaioken and taken it further beyond. So how far does the Kaioken go? Let me phrase that question with another question. Do you like living? If yes, then it's probably best that you don't use the Kaioken unless you use it with respect and maturity. Because as we know, if you suddenly were able to use the Kaioken, you would oh yeah, I can use the Kaioken! I'm gonna go and use it to Kaioken times over 9,000! So congratulations, you can use the Kaioken times 9,000 or whatever your OC chooses to use. I mean, you'd be a pile of flesh and vaporized bone on the floor, but you'd have been able to fulfill your OC's dream, yeah? Remember? Your dream for your OC to fight Margin Android Frieza Hyper Deluxe Cell Form in God Mode? So if you actually want a figure for the maximum multiplier that Kaioken can be used with, it's times 20 in the TV series. Having said that though, it is rumoured that Kaioken times 100 was used in the Lord Slug movie. Now if that were true, then that would make Kaioken times 100 twice as powerful as Super Saiyan, which is 50 times base power. That would actually be a decent way towards Super Saiyan 2. Having said that though, this is a movie, it is not canon, so anything could happen. Times 100 Kaioken is really just a pipe dream. The times 20 multiplier was only possible after intense gravity training and the Zenkai boost that Goku acquired after his fight with Vegeta. During his fight with Vegeta, he was only able to go up to times 4 Kaioken, and even then, that was only for one beam struggle. The most he could sustain for a decent amount of time and for a decent portion of the fight was times 3. And even then, that was pretty substantial. But it does go to show, with push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice, you can achieve higher Kaioken multipliers. That's gonna make the multiplier lovers happy. So what happened? Well, Super Saiyan happened, that's what. The Super Saiyan form is derived from anger. You can't concentrate on the minutiae of battle if you're in Super Saiyan form. You just want to punch people in the face. You don't want to struggle with Kaioken on top of that, thinking that it's going to tear your body to shreds. You're not going to be thinking about that. So as such, the Kaioken is just going to be left outside. You're just not in the right frame of mind to use such a volatile and dangerous technique if you're Super Saiyan. So I'm sorry, all you fanfiction writers out there, what you're writing for Super Saiyan Kaioken is just not accurate. But then you might be throwing Super Kaioken back in my face. Well, yeah, Goku did use it for 3 seconds, but that was part of a filler arc. But even if it was canon, it was still achieved in the other world, in a whole other plane of existence. In the real world, it really wouldn't be feasible. Okay, you think Kaioken is now dead and buried, it's a completely useless technique, and we should all forget about it. Wrong. What about Super Saiyan Blue? Dragon Ball Super brought back the Kaioken, and actually a lot of older techniques, if you think about it. We saw that in episode 39, and he achieved a 10 times multiplier. Granted, it threw Goku's body out of whack for several days afterwards, and left him a contorted mess for a good few hours on top of that. And it only had a 10% chance of actually working, so it's not really something you want to use lightly. It's unfortunate that Goku sustained those injuries after using the Super Saiyan Blue x10 Kaioken, but it's perfect because it shows that the writers of Dragon Ball Super didn't want to make this technique unbalanced. It sustained the whole Kaioken adage of there being peril from using it. There is consistency in this writing. Goku has to think carefully before using it. The calm and controlled state of Super Saiyan Blue's godly ki energy is perfect for Kaioken to make a resurgence. Just in time for Kaioken to make a Kaio comeback. Huh? No? Okay. So what does make the Kaioken the best transformation in the series? Well, it's pure drama. It's peril, it's excitement, it's uncertainty. Is that user gonna die from it? Well, if it's Goku, probably not, but you start to think it could happen. There is some doubt, there is some chance, but it also looks really cool when you use it. It's a technique that is not meant to be used lightly. Transformations like that became the core of Dragon Ball Z for years to come, and even to this day, for better or worse, depends on who you are. I personally adore it for its limitations. To me, Super Saiyan is really cool and epic, but it just feels really imbalanced in comparison. Super Saiyan is like a light bulb. Kaioken is like a fire that is barely kept under control. It harks back from a time when Dragon Ball was simple. It was all about martial arts and techniques and fierce battles just by using fists, kicks, jumps, and all that stuff. The Kaioken was a perfect feather in the cap for Goku's techniques. It was a last-ditch effort to get the one-up on Vegeta. It was the coup de grace of where we'd come from Dragon Ball. So yeah, that's why I love the Kaioken. Tell me what you think of the Kaioken down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. What should the next Dragon Ball discussion video be about? Leave your thoughts again in the comments. But until next time guys, be sure to like and subscribe. And until then guys, catch you later.